Hello everyone, LJ here. Yes, back with another Savage Crucible. I say unboxing. He's already been opened, he's already out of the box, just because I've waited so long for this one. It was the second figure I wanted in my collection. It's taken this long to get him. So I just thought I'd show you the box, show you the inside, and then get to the figure. So this is going to be a review of the figure. It's not going to be a review of the articulation, because you've seen the articulation over and over again. They're always the same. But it's going to be about this figure, my thoughts and opinions on the figure, my thoughts and opinion on the line, my thoughts and opinions on the line in the future, as well as just a few other little things I want to say. I just want Savage Crucible to know, because I know that they do check out, I mean, probably won't see my video. They probably won't sit down and watch it. But I know they check out videos, and I know they listen to the opinions of the fans and collectors of this line. Anything that I say that other people might twist and turn it as like I'm being negative, I'm not. I have nothing negative to say about the line at all. There's just things that I see, or things that I think about, or things that I would like to see that, just in my opinion, I think would add a little extra. And I already know they're adding extra. I mean, Vetras added extra with, you know, the extra weapon in the box and other stuff like that. But what I mean by adding extra is not by adding extras to the figure, but you'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean when I talk about it. Anywho, this is based on Nin Vilimir. Now, sorry about this horrible sticker that's on the front and this on the back. The company that I got it from. I wasn't able to order this one straight through Savage Crucible because I didn't have the full amount to buy this yet. But there was a website that did kind of do like a pay monthly thing where I could get it cheaper and get it straight away. So, you know, if you hear random noise in the background, it's our rabbit, Nip It. He likes to make noises when other people are busy. That's what he does. But yeah, so I didn't get to order it straight through the website, which kind of sucks. But I do have a Savage Crucible order that isn't actual figures coming from their website, which if you guys want me to do a video, just let me know in the comments. I'll do a video on what's turning up. But however, let's just get into this. I have waited for Nin Vilimir since I got Como, because the first two figures I wanted in this line was Como, #1, and Nin, because he, yet again like Como, was one of the most unique figures in the line. That doesn't mean other figures aren't unique, but I'm going to get into detail of why I feel like Nin and Como were, you know, unique. But we'll get into afterwards. So this is the box. It's got that lovely front artwork, which is ruined by the sticker. It's got Nin Vilimir on the side. It's got that writing on the back that most of these have. Savage Crucible on the other side. Nin Vilimir on the top. And then on the bottom is, you know, your usual Harvinger Studios, stuff like that. Then on the inside, we get that lovely Lemurian map in the background. We get, obviously, the packaging where all the accessories and the figures displayed. And then we get this lovely kind of story, you know, that they have written for the character. You can pause at any moment to read this yourself if you want. But yeah, so let's put this box over here. And I got a card, like you do with all these. And this card is the hooded core. I was a little bit upset because when I opened the packet, the card had a slight ding in the bottom of it. But, you know, it's not the worst thing that could happen. A little crease or a slight bend, it's not so bad. But when I opened Vetras, I got the Royal Guard. So getting back-to-back these ones is pretty cool. I don't have many cards. I think I have like 5 or 6 cards, and I've got like 1 duplicate of Como, which is going to my partner. Nin Vilimir. What an absolute beast. Right, let me put him further back so you can see all of him. And he's actually the first Savage Crucible figure I've opened where his articulated toe feet are perfect. He's able to stand. I mean, no, my luck, I'm going to shake the table and he'll fall over. Oh, maybe not. But yeah, he stood straight away. His feet came out of the box so smoothly, which is really good. His knees are very stiff again. I have heated him up, but they've just locked again. And I did the trick where, you know, you move the knees back and forth while it's heated. It didn't work. That leg's locked up again. That one's got a bit of stiffness on the top joint. My only upset with him when he came was that this shoulder, I don't know if you can notice it. If you look at this shoulder joint, it's a straight joint that goes side to side. This one came like diagonally down. I think the joint inside is slightly damaged. So I can get it in like it normally would, but it sticks out further than it's supposed to because it's diagonally down. That joint is damaged itself in there. But he still moves his arm. He's still got articulation. His arm can still lift up to some degree. I think that joint's stiffened again. This one can move. Oh, still a bit of wet there. That arm's a lot better. This one, it's a bit stiff again. So a few issues in terms of joints, but you know, that happens. It does tell you on the box to really heat these guys up before playing with them so they don't break. I always do that. I always heat them up the best I can. So let's just get into the look of the actual figure, not the armor yet. Let's talk about the actual figure. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, from this part down, he is identical in every way to all the figures. All the sculpting is the same. Everything is the same. From his abdomen to from his legs to his feet. Same as his hands. And I think his arms are the same as well. The unique two aspects of this figure is his chest is actually different. You can't see it through the armor, but if you look at his neck is extended like forwards, and underneath his armor he's actually got this really nice hunch thing going on. Love that. I love the fact that if he was unarmored, he would just look like a hunched dragon, and that is where I get into my second aspect of this figure. He is a dragon-esque character more than lizard. And dragons are my spirit animal. I say this all the time. Dragons are my spirit animal. So the idea of seeing a dragon-esque character, I mean, I might be wrong. Someone's probably going to say, oh, actually, he's not a dragon. He's just a different form of lizard. Maybe. But to me, he looks like a dragon. I'm going to think he's a dragon until I'm told otherwise. I know there is a story for him that's more in-depth than on the box. So I might be able to find out more about what he is in future. But just the idea of a brand new tooled chest piece, as well as the neck piece as well, and the face sculpt. The face sculpt is gorgeous. Let's get a bit more closer in on that, can we? Can I bring it a bit closer? Look at that. That elongated and droopy kind of face. Those really flared back nostrils. That beautiful deep, like a deep light yellow eyes with the huge pupils. You know, the spikes on top of his face. And then kind of my favorite aspect is the mouth. Now, the thing that I love about this mouth, more than I would about the other articulated mouths, is that all the articulated mouths are good, are great even, but all the tongues are kind of molded flat to the jawline. So they are great to look at when you see them in person. But when you get to Nin and you open that mouth and you see that kind of tongue really thickened and partly sticking out and stuff like that, when you see that, it really adds character. You know, it just adds that extra bit of uniqueness to this guy. It really makes him look and feel beautiful and angry, and you know, like all this stuff about him that you'd think he'd be. You know, and someone else, I can't remember which video described it well, but the tongue and that head, like when it's like that, it's like he's already screaming or like hissing at somebody. And when they said that, and I thought, well, you know, it looks great. In person, it's just so much better. Then if we get to his tail is exactly the same as Vetris's and the Imperial Sentries and the Royal Guards. But the thing that makes his tail unique is it's got these metal spiked plates on each one with this little strap. Now, these are molded to each part of the tail. They're not removable. Would a unarmored Nin tail be great in future for unarmored versions of this character? Of course it would be. But then yet again, you could just buy a Sentry or a Royal Guard or an extra Veterus, prime it and paint it the colours of Nin and just make your own instead of them having to do it for us. That's why they make these figures customizable, so we can do stuff like that. But just saying, in future, if it was ever possible, just a random unarmored Nintail would be cool, be awesome. So his accessories are this beautiful blade with this nice metallic pearlescent purple handle with a gold hilt. Along with the blade, which I know you can't see it properly, but there are purple dry brushed accents with some light blue on that nice steel, which is awesome. And then he gets a matching kind of like sharp pointy blade thing, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like a, oh, how can I explain that? It's kind of like it's like a fancy cleaver when you think about it. It's like the size of a cleaver. It's really fancy. Right, and then he comes with this, I think it's Ancestral Tea, I think it's called, on the card. This does not come with Nin. This was actually off my Imperial Sentry. Because I've kind of made her my own character in my story. She doesn't have 2 holsters, she only has 1 because she is going to have an accessory on the other side of her at some point in the future. But I really wanted Nin to have one for this blade. So yeah. Now talking about armor, his is, yet again, like Komo's, it's one of those unique armors that wasn't used for other figures. So what I mean by Como is the only one that has that kind of lava symbiote armor. And Nin is the only one that has all this huge, real spike. Sorry, I keep taking him off camera. He has this really, sorry, I keep knocking my camera. I just noticed, I've been so sorry about that. I've been knocking the camera. Nin has this beautiful, spiky, rusted metal armor. So he's got the nice chest piece, which, yes, they do use for Veterus, but they don't include, for Veterus, the nice kind of neck shield up here, which is really cool. A nice little addition to that. Those beautiful shoulder pads that match this lovely bronzy gold accent on the belt straps. Nice pointy spiked shoulder pads along with these nice wrist guards. Lovely new tooled waist armor along with this little piece. Now, I know this little piece has annoyed a few people in terms of when posing, because I know it's very common to fall off or to pop off when posing and whatnot. And I know a lot of people said that they kind of wished it was all one piece. Some part of me does kind of agree that if it was all one piece, it would have been kind of slightly more beneficial, because obviously that wiggle can annoy people. The thing that I actually really dig about the wiggle is that even though it's meant to be a metal piece, it's designed to be a separate attachment. So if you pose him in a way to where he looks like he's fighting and you've got wind blowing, you can kind of angle it to where the wind's kind of nudged it a little bit. So yeah, it's like straightforward if he's just walking, kind of, if you get him into like a kind of walking pose, straightforward. If he's in like an attack pose thing, then you can kind of nudge it to the side where the wind's kind of shifted it a little bit, you know. So I don't mind it too much. I don't think it's that much of a problem. But yeah, I mean, this guy has not disappointed me at all. He is a gorgeous figure. And like I said, that definitely my second favorite face sculpt for any of these figures. I said Como will always be my number 1 guy. There is no figure in this line that is going to beat Como to me. Just an absolute unique, not figure, but in terms of just character as well. I've never read or seen anything like him in my life, and I really appreciate what they did. And my partner described his face sculpt brilliantly, which is that Como's face is sculpted so beautifully that you can see the pain and hurt in him that he's had from his troubled past. And she said that the company captured that loss and sorrow beautifully, and I completely agree. But Nin is a very troublesome and traitorous character, and you can really see that evil and deception in Nin. You can really see it in his face, just like you can with Como's emotion. You can see that aggression, and I mean, even just the eyes. The way the eyes stare at you is like he is planning something evil, and then when you get that mouth open, oh, it's gorgeous. It's like every other kind of character. Nin also comes with 2 sets of hands. your open claw hands and your grabbing the weapon hands. So yeah, just overall, I really like this figure. And I'm sorry you can't see the whole figure all the time. I've been holding him quite close. I just really wanted to get him close so I could talk about details. Let me move his box. And then hopefully we can actually... I keep nudging that camera. I'm so sorry. My tripod's broke, so it keeps shifting. So let me put him next to my favourite figure in the line, which is Como. Still got the original feet on at the moment. So he's a bit wobbly, but I'm getting new feet for him. So, 2 favourite figures in the whole line. Como said number 1, Nin second, hands down. Absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, I just, there's something about Nin that's giving me the same feeling I did with Como, where I don't want to put him down. I want to take 101 photos of him instantly. But yeah, so just comparing him to some other figures in the line. We've got the recent and beautiful Vetris. Oh, sorry. Then we've got like a standard Savage. And then we've got the Shadow Savage. That's known as my Lemurian son. Custom that I'm going to be working on. Still working on. So that's just them in the line that I wanted to kind of show off for a minute. So things I wanted to talk about in terms of a few different things. I love uniqueness. Hands down, I love uniqueness. Any kind of unique sculpting, tooling, design, paintwork, and all of these figures have unique things. Whether the whole figure is unique or it has aspects that's unique. And as a Como and Nim are the 2 best cases of pure uniqueness. Where, you know, other than the legs and the arms and the abdomen, like Nin was given a brand new torso, chest piece, head, and armor. You know, the Lemurian Savage was given no armor and a unique paint sculpt that's unique to him. And then you get the Shadow Slate, which is just that pure color, which is very unique because it's just the factory color. And, you know, so there's different types of unique. And one of the things that I was thinking of when it came to Vetris, which I love, is that the things that make him unique is that green and yellow striped skin, as well as the blood red armor. In my brain, there was only one thing that I said to myself, which, don't get me wrong, I love Vetris, but I overthink things. There is a set of armor, because if you look at this one, it's matching to the Imperial Sentries. In an accessory pack, they made a unique set of shin guards and wrist guards that had the spirals, the like infinite snakes and the spikes. And I was thinking to myself, like, you know, Royal Guard has the spiral snakes. Imperial Sentry has spikes. Only the accessory kit came with the shinned spike snakes and wrist spike snakes. So I said, wouldn't it for me, like, if I saw those wrists and shins on Vetris, that would have been that kind of different, unique, because he would have been the only figure that actually came with that set of armor, but also in red. Because whereas Royal Guard and Imperial Sentry have the 2 separate ones, to have Vetris come with the mixture, as well as these, it would have felt that little bit extra kind of like, whoa, they actually went and took that and made that instead. Don't get me wrong, like I said, any of my things that I say, it's not hate, I'm not ungrateful, I'm not complaining. It's just things that I think in my head, you know? So yeah, it's just one of those things that I thought, like, it would have been cool to have seen the spiral snake spiked armor pieces, just to give that extra little bit of difference. It's the reason why my Vetris doesn't have those grey shoulder pads, those grey and silver shoulder pads, because, you know, I was kind of like, well, 1, I want to give him slightly more higher arm articulation for battle poses, but 2, it felt weird seeing greyish silver shoulder pads when his armor's blood red and silver. So it was either to repaint those shoulder pads, which would be a hassle, or just take them off and make him look a little different to someone, like to everyone else's. So I removed the shoulder pads. And I kind of prefer him without them. Like, for me, I feel happier that he doesn't have them on. But you know, all of these figures are unique in their own way. They've all got their own differences, whether it's, like I said, whether it's skin tones, whether it's extra accessories, stuff like that. So as I say, not complaining at all. I just overthink the fact that, you know, to include something a bit different every time, instead of just it being paintwork, because I love the idea that they make unique paintwork. I said, like, the fact that all of these guys look different, whether they share the same body or not, they each look different in their own element, which is brilliant. But it was just that part of, instead of seeing just the Imperial Sentry side of armor, having that dual snake spike, it would have made him feel like, oh, that's the guy that had that armor, if that makes sense. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. But overall, all of these figures are 10 out of 10s. They're all beautiful. I mean, flaws and all, actually. If any of these had, like, even with the feet articulation with the toes, like as you can see over here, these two fell over instantly. I don't care, because they can stand up. I have gotten these guys to stand up in numerous of poses. Even Como, I've got him to stand up on one leg before, even with the wonky ankles. So even with their flaws, they are gorgeous figures to own. And I think sometimes the flaws can be benefits, you know. Like, who is it? There was a guy that I knew. It wasn't with one of these figures, I think. It was a different figure, and his figure had like similar ankle issues where the toe articulation and the ankle were quite weak. And as he went to take a picture, the figure slowly fell over. And as he was taking the picture, it looked like he was mid-running. Like, the motion captured the shot like mid-run. And it was all because it fell over during the shot. The fact that it can do that kind of thing makes it awesome. So if these can do that, it's not a flaw. It's a benefit. So the last thing I want to say is that, obviously, you guys who see this, you're going to be watching it on my Gears of War Instagram. You're going to be watching it on my Gears of War YouTube. Sorry, there's not much Gears of War figure stuff at the moment. I've not made money customs for Gears. And as we know, Storm Collectibles has lost the license for the Mirror and Dom, so we're not getting those, and God knows when we'll get new Gears of War figures. It's gutted me beyond belief. You know, the long wait for them to find out we're not getting them has sucked. But if you like creature-esque figures and you like mythical fantasy stuff, this is definitely one of the cheapest, best articulated, designed, sculpted, painted figures you'll ever find. This is like my #1 favorite figure company. I will support them to the end as much as I can. And I look so forward to the new waves. And I did a video talking about the arm articulation, saying that if they had just made a little change to the forearm piece, they'd be able to get slightly better range in the arms. Now, the range in the arms is brilliant. I mean, like, you can see here with Vetris, like, you can get a really good range, like, there. That's still pretty good. And even if you, like, move the wrist guard slightly, you can get still really good range. But in their latest live stream, they've shown where they've actually made a slight change to this, and you can get, like, instead of from there, you can get to, like, up here. So much more closer to the bicep, which means that action poses are going to be much more aggressive with the action, which is brilliant. That's what we want. That's what we like. I know they're not going to do that with the Lemurian line. I know they're not going to do it because it would be pointless. They're hoping to stop the lizards soon and go straight into the humans and then the piranhoids. And I know that's what they want to go for in future. But, you know, the idea of seeing it in future figures is going to be freaking awesome. But overall, this was my review of Nin Vilimir. And just some things I wanted to say about the company and stuff and other things. I mean, I've got other things I want to say, but I think that I speak from the heart. Whether I love a company or whether I'm okay with a company, I always like to give my honest opinions. Even if some things may sound or other people may take as negative, they're not. They're just my honest thoughts and opinions. And but I don't want to say too much in one video in case people think I'm attacking, which I'm not. I love this guy. Anyone who's on the Instagram, the Facebook, and you see the amount of pictures I take of these guys, trust me, I have no issues or problems with this company at all. I love them to pieces. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's long, but you know. Anyway, thank you, Savage Crucible, for making the most awesome figures I've ever had the pleasure and honor to own and to photograph and play with and create stories and tell stories. Thank you so much for giving me and others like me a great company line to explore new ideas and be creative with. We all appreciate you very much. Right, take care, you wonderful people. See you next time. Bye-bye.